Guess what, folks? You're watching The Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. You are making Gotham great just by being here. Like, subscribe, share the videos, put comments, even if it's just a love it, thumbs up, smiley face, whatever. YouTube tracks all that stuff. The more likes it gets, the more people that subscribe, the more people that share through YouTube and put comments on there. They track all those things. All the analytics track that, so they'll make the videos. The more of those things that happen, the more they'll push the videos out. Also, watch the ads all the way through. Don't click skip. I get paid that way. And if you're a YouTube Red subscriber, I get paid just by you watching the show. So anytime you watch me, I get paid. Let it just play out. And you can support the show by going to patreon.com. So check that out. I found this article on Yahoo, but I think it was a repost from Gentleman's Quarterly. How we grow and eat food is going to kill us all. Woo, Luke, easy. Which is a good article because we just had the Paris Climate Accord, and you know, we talk about this a lot. The environment. I'm going to keep talking about it because it's pretty severe. We need a Green New Deal and we need it now. Part of the Green New Deal is restructuring and redoing how we grow and eat food, because this guy ain't wrong. Over the weekend, more than 200 nations reached an agreement for reducing greenhouse gas emissions over the coming decades, even without U.S. participation. Thanks, Trump. Morons, you're killing us all and tricking people into believing your oil lobby bullshit. If you're a right-leaning person watching this show, thanks for watching. And know that they're lying to you. Both parties are lying to all of us. And politicians that get money in both parties from the oil lobby are going to lie to you and tell you that climate change isn't that big of a deal. They don't care that your children are going to choke to death on this, even though it's going to affect their children too. They're psychopaths. Even without U.S. participation, it's a significant step in affirming the Paris Climate Accord. Unfortunately, it's still only a small step toward the massive changes needed to minimize the coming disaster climate change will cause. It's coming, no matter what. Whether you believe in it or not, whether Sean Hannity believes in it or not, it's coming. Like death. It'd be like if MSNBC was telling me that I'm going to live forever. It doesn't matter. I'm going to die. A new report from the end of last month underscores just how big the task is. The InterAcademy Partnership, a self-described global network of research academies, released the results of a 3-year-long peer-reviewed study on the world's food production systems, and their prognosis is grim. The way we grow, raise, and eat food is slowly killing us. I don't know that they have a financial interest in wanting us to, in putting lies in this peer-reviewed study. That's a key thing. First, there's the impact on climate change. Agriculture accounts for 1/3 of all greenhouse gases, while the InterAcademy Partnership report that projects that by 2030, livestock will be responsible for half of all emissions. That's why I'm a vegetarian, guys. You know, Obama was chastised for meat-free Mondays or whatever. If you're not a vegetarian, try to get off of it. Just try. Go find some products. There's some good ones out there. Gardein, Gardein, I believe, makes like vegetarian substitutes for products. Check those out, guys, because this is for real. Even meager efforts to improve how we eat face intense backlash. Both Barack and Michelle Obama were lambasted by Republican politicians and industry spokespeople when they promoted meatless Mondays to encourage marginally healthier and environmentally friendly diets. People say, what about the cattle ranchers? That's a legitimate thing. Let's find some new jobs for them. But you know what? This has happened. Innovation and evolution has, you know, a lot of Pony Express riders lost their jobs. A lot of blacksmiths lost their jobs when we moved to cars. Not a lot of rotary phone or typewriter salespeople are there right now. Anybody own a typewriter? So just putting people out of work, that's not a good thing, but let's get the cattle ranchers doing something else. They got all that land. Can they grow something on it? The food system also fails to properly nourish billions of people. When more than 820 million people went hungry last year, according to the UN Food and Agriculture Organization, while a third of all people did not get enough vitamins. At the same time, 600 million people were classed as obese and 2 billion people overweight, with serious consequences for their health. On top of this, more than 1 billion tons of food is wasted every year, a third of the total produced. This is in The Guardian. It's why I eat smaller portions. It's why I try to compost. It's why if I'm out to eat and I have leftovers, I box them up and either take them home or I give them to a homeless person if I see them on the walk back to my car when I go out to eat. I hate wasting food. I try to buy smaller amounts of food or freeze food because I think it's a crime to waste food because what was it? 820 million people went hungry last year. So when I waste food, I can't handle it. It just drives me crazy. So at the very least, I'm putting it in a compost and letting it go back into the soil. I see homeless people in LA. I wish I could feed all of them. All of them should have homes and food. The waste of 1 billion tons of food every year while nearly 1 billion people go hungry is galling. A significant portion of food waste is caused by consumers, but other cases include sanitation and health violations, like the latest E. coli outbreak, food loss during transportation, and overproduction of crops. It's tempting to write a lot of this off. If there's excess food produced in the United States, for example, what good does that do for food insecure people in other parts of the world? But if it were a simple issue of geography, then a quarter of San Francisco residents wouldn't be at the highest level of food insecurity, despite California producing nearly half of the fruits and vegetables in the US. I did not know that. Food insecure means you don't have a lot of food. Maybe you're eating 1 meal a day versus 2 or 3. You're going to bed hungry. You're eating the cheapest food available to you, which oftentimes is not the healthiest. The food deserts that people talk about. I was talking to some people that deal with this issue in the state of California, and they're telling me about food deserts, meaning the only food available, there's not like a grocery store selling fresh produce even, let alone organic. Like there's not a Trader Joe's. There's not even a regular grocery store. There's just fast food, which is crap. I see this in certain neighborhoods in LA, in South Central LA. You know, it's hard to find fresh produce in many inner cities or in desolate areas out in the middle of nowhere. And California feeds half of the country. We have the 5th largest economy in the world, and there's food insecure people. A quarter of San Francisco residents are food insecure? That's appalling. Maybe all those tech billionaires could set up some co-ops and help feed people and give people jobs and give them fresh produce. And the solution is not to build a Whole Foods there and food they can't afford. Oh, Whole Foods is overpriced. Whole Foods should have like stuff for people in low-income areas. Instead, these are all systematic problems: industrial food production, raising livestock, growing produce, processing and transporting food isn't governed by questions about how to most efficiently feed the highest number of people. It's governed by how to make the most money off the lowest expenditure of time and resources. Food deserts, area where there's little to no reasonably priced and nutritious food, don't just occur naturally in the wealthiest cities. They're the result of deliberate investments choices, and even negligence by people who profit off of everybody's need to eat. Everybody's got to eat every day. You think it's a coincidence that the shittiest food is the cheapest and organic food is the most expensive? That's these food companies. These big distributors like Monsanto and these assholes like that. That's what they're doing. Everyone should be able to. Are we that like brutal with each? We're a cruel, mean society. My friend Jim Bruce, who I do the Stay in Your Lane comedy show with, December 22nd at the Corbin Bowl. Go to GrahamElwood.com for tickets. This is my friend of a long time, and he says, look, if America doesn't want to, America should either fix the homeless problem and the food insecure problem, or just admit it's not a Christian country. We can't call ourselves that we're Christian because Jesus would never let this happen. We could feed the world, but it's all done by profit and greed and corporate farming and all this other shit. It should be mandated that every corporate farm has to take a certain percentage of his crops and just give it and distribute it to the people that need it. Free or very low priced food. Go to all these food deserts, all these parts of the country, in California, in every state, all over the country, where people don't have access to affordable, healthy food, and put it there. Not a goddamn Burger King, but like healthy food options. And it should be taught in schools. So, thanks for watching the show, you guys. Progressive Comedy Tour, January 9th through the 12th. We're going to Florida. We got shows coming up in New Orleans. We've just added Lafayette, Louisiana. We're going to San Antonio, Texas, and Fort Worth and Houston. We're going to Salt Lake City. We're putting together the East Coast run in June. Go to GrahamElwood.com and get your tickets now because all the shows have been selling out. You don't want to miss out. Thanks for watching. Logo.